Gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe to the channel. We've got a quick little review of the BT-SV and SU76i bundle, which is currently in the store for €5.49. You get the two tanks, you get camouflages, etc. Low tier lols, premium bundle. Question is it worth the money? Well, I sold this thing. I sold this BT-SV, which is basically a BT-7, maybe even a BT-2. But the Russians in real life tried to slap as much armor on the tank as possible because they had already figured out that it was possible to angle armor. So this is not a boat, even if it may look like one, but this was an attempt to get the most out of BT chassis and add armor to it, just add angled armor. In Blitz, this tank is, I don't know, I sold it, I could not get on with it. It didn't really work for me, and the reason for that lies with the mobility. Speed, pretty good, 62 forward, 20 in reverse, that's all well and good, but it picks up really bad in my opinion. It is a light tank, so it has on the move camo, but then again there's a lot of light tanks in tier 2 and 3 which you will be facing. But it just bleeds speed in the corner, and that is pretty annoying. If, however, you will look at the tanks you will be facing, and if you are in a tier 3 battle, as in you are the top tier tank, then you got a quite good gun. I mean, 84 of penetration on AP, you get 115 on APCR, 40 versus 35 damage per shot. You have to shoot a lot to kill enemy tanks. It will penetrate a fair few shots, but because you have to shoot the tanks so many times, just look at this. That's the side of a Panzer IIIA, and this one is going to go in, the other one just bounced on the front. There's not a lot of leeway in this tank. It's a low tier tank. And if you're up against a Matilda, for example, which you will be facing, yeah, then you're in a world of trouble, because lower tiers have obviously been rebalanced. There's a lot of nagging on these tanks where people say, "Oh, the lower tiers are ruined, etc. They're impossible to play." Yeah, if you are a veteran player, I think you should not dip into the lower tiers too much. I mean, going in there for a little bit of fun, it's always good. Of course, you can play what you want to in a way, but you don't go bitching about the guys in the lower tiers. They're new players, they often don't know the match. You know where to go. You can sit on a ridge, for example, or on a hill and shoot everybody. And well, sometimes the new players just kind of bump into you and they don't really know what they are doing. But anyways, BT-SV, not very much worth it in my opinion. Then again, the bundle itself is €5.49. And €5.49, well, that's not a big amount of money. If you still have the tank, which I don't, because I sold it, you will get a bit of credits, a bit of gold for the tank. Actually, 1k for the BT-SV and 1k for the SU76i. And if you have the camouflages for these tanks as well, you will get a bit of compensation for that too. They do state wargaming compensation for the camouflage is 125 gold, but I doubt you will get just compensation for the camouflage if you have the camouflage on any tank in the garage. I think you need to have it on the BT-SV itself and on the SU76i. And you can see we're in this game we're looking at Kurt Falebi, which is playing the tank, and I'm gonna run this Stuart a little bit. There we go. This is your typical low tier gameplay currently. I mean, the tanks have more hit points, the guns have been nerfed, the DPM has been lowered. Wargaming have been changing the lower tiers to make players stay alive longer, so they can enjoy their gaming experience, and so they can live and learn a little bit more and drive around a little bit more. But usually it's just a lot of driving, a lot of shooting, and tanks just kind of staying together. They don't really know what they are doing. Quad, however, is somewhat racking up the damage, but if you're going to take a look at the post-game stats, you will see that there's a few more tanks that had pretty good games. I mean, he bounces a shot from this Panzer 3A, I think, is it? Yes, the 3A, and then he's going to take one from the Panzer 3A, and you can see that he is, well, he's not dead yet, but if the Panzer 3A had 2 more shots, he would have been able to kill Quad. So, this is your lower tier gameplay. 777 damage dealt in total, ace game as well, a little bit of credits made too, but take a look at that M5 Stuart, and the BT-7 on the red team. That's the gameplay. If you want to win a lot and survive and be a scrub, because you get a lot of lower tier games to bump your win rate, then you have to kind of stay alive. You sit in the back, let everybody die, and then kind of farm. We're going to take a look at Derb Daddy here, from the NA clan, who is driving the anti-canny, the SU-76i. Why are you calling this tank then the anti-canny, Martin? Well, this was a notorious SEAL club. It still is. This is a notorious SEAL clubbing tank, because this is a Panzer III chassis with the gun of the SU-76 whacked on top, in a casemate with an armored shield up front. This was a regular World War II tank. The Russians captured a lot of Panzer III chassis. They didn't really like the Panzer III because it had a paltry 50mm gun, and they had better guns available obviously in their tanks, so why would they use it? They just used the chassis with the engine deck. You just cut the turret ring parts out, basically left the turret off, and then whacked this casemate on top of the tank with a 76mm gun in it as well. And that means that you have a tier 4 chassis tank. It used to be a tier 4, the Panzer III, it is now a tier 3 obviously. You have a tier 4 chassis, which is very maneuverable, you have good frontal armor, and you have a gun which hits at 120. And 120 is pretty good. That is the best hit you can do in a tier 3 battle, and you're hitting at 86 penetration. You're doing 577 in terms of DPM, which is not a lot in a tier 3 battle, and which is pretty low in a tier 4 battle. But you kind of make up for that in terms of penetration value, because 86 on AP, that's really respectable. And 102 on your AP shot, that's not too bad either, and you only drop 15 in terms of damage per shot, so 105 of damage at 102 penetration. You could go with a full gold loadout in a tier 4 battle, and people would really fear you, because you hit a tank, and the low pew pew guns at the tiers you will be facing in tier 2, 3 and maybe even 4, they will have to hit you at least twice to do the same amount of damage back. Why was this tank then such a notorious SEAL globber, you ask? Well, it used to have extremely good frontal armor, and I mean, it still has that same type of armor, but all the guns have been buffed a little bit at these tiers, at these lower tiers, and you are not untouchable anymore. At least not if you are facing tier 3 and 4 tanks. But if you're facing, let's say, a Panzer 35T, yes, that's a lot of red. If you're facing a 35T, you will show up red to him. Just he is just completely unable to penetrate you frontally. And yes, that includes the lower plate. And your armor, while on paper, I mean, the numbers are quite good, but it's all flat. Just look at this. Derb Daddy's going to face the other SU-76i, who's hiding his lower plate, but yeah, it doesn't really work. I mean, we're going to use AP shell, but even with AP, you would have been able to punch through, because it's basically flat. There's a little bit of angling involved, but not as much as the BT-SV has. And as I've said, you will be facing a lot of tanks at tier 2 and 3 that have bad guns, especially the tier 2 ones. I mean, he's going to clear this 10 TP easily with some help of the Panzer III. But also the very notorious SEAL clubber Kenny Otsu, which has a bonkers reload and really good DPM. That tank has no hope of penetrating the SU-76i frontally, even with the premium ammo. So this tank might be the better one of the two in the bundle. But let's face it, I've been talking like 10 minutes or so. It's lower tier tanks. I mean, they don't cost an arm and a leg. It's €5.50. You get a tank, you get camouflages, you get actually 2 tanks in it. You get what you pay for. It's not crates, but it's lower tiers. So, in my opinion, you might not want to get these tanks because the gaming experience may not be brilliant. But they're fun in their own way and you could collect them, I guess. And if you have them already, remember you get some compensation in gold, which is never a bad thing. So that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of the Digiverse. I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers, happy tanking, and thank you for watching.